Hi, and welcome to another episode of The Reluctant Leader. So, I am the Reluctant Leader, Gurjinder Bhogal, and I am so excited to be having a conversation today with Anne Louise Harbutt. I am so excited about this conversation because I know bits of Anne Louise, your journey, but not the entirety of it. And I've learned so much already, and I just cannot wait to share even more with everybody listening and watching this conversation. So before I start, and Louise, do you want to introduce yourself to everybody and just let everybody know what it is that you do?
Yeah, of course. Thank you so much. I'm so looking forward to this conversation. So, my name is Anne Louise Harbutt, and I am an intuitive channel and a spiritual mentor. And I work with female coaches and female change makers when they're feeling really frustrated in their business and in their life. And I help them to connect with the energy of their higher self, with their future self, and with their soul. And I help them to see that vision that they have for themselves and take them beyond that. And I also channel in guidance from their higher self, but also from the universe, because there are things we can know consciously in our human consciousness, but there's lots of things that are beyond that consciousness. And I'm able to access that. And it helps them stop spinning all the wheels in their business, helps them stop with that frustration and actually start to shine and be the best version of themselves, and not just be it, but feel it, which is really key to all of this, because we could be doing all of the things strategically, but we want to really feel that best version of ourselves as well.
It's that embodiment, isn't it? It's embodying who you're truly meant to be. Now, Anne
100%.
Louise, I get what you do because there's a bit of an alignment here. But for those people that maybe don't understand a word you said, because there are many out there, and it's not meant offensively to anybody, but there are many out there that might not even understand what a channel or spiritual mentor and guide and what all of these words that we've just used are. Can you explain in layman's terms what it is that you do?
So all of us are spiritual beings living a human existence. So our soul comes into this lifetime, into this human body, and we are experiencing life on the human level. It's where your personality is, it's where your emotions are. And beyond that is the source, God, the universe, whatever name you want to use, which is the all and everything of where we came from, and is the all knowing, limitless potential that we have. And we have, our soul has a purpose. And I'm able to connect in with spirit guides, with that source, and get the information that actually you already have, but sometimes don't connect with or can't see, because we have our own limiting beliefs from what we've experienced. We have our not feeling good enough, like self-belief, confidence, all the things we experience, especially when we're in business, because often we are our own business and it's about putting ourselves really out there, and we can have fear of judgment and all of those things. And sometimes we just need that message that when we hear it for the first time, it's like our human ears hear it for the first time, but we've known it forever on a deeper level. And it's those deeper level knowings, it's that sort of intuitive, soul-led wisdom, inner wisdom that we all have. And although I talk about it coming from source, and I always sort of do this because it's sometimes easier for people to understand that it's sort of coming from externally, but actually it's that inner wisdom, as the source, the universe is us, and it's coming from within. And it is that inner knowing, and it can be an intuitive, oh, I knew I should have done that, or yes, I've got a gut feel that's right for me, to really deep inner knowings of your purpose and the impact, your legacy that you're meant to have on the world. And it's that feeling. And I was actually having a conversation this morning with someone who's like, I know I'm meant to be doing something, I can feel it, but I don't know what that something is. That's when I come in and I can receive those messages either from yourself or from or from within you of what that is. So I hope I've explained that. I don't know if that's layman enough, but
That is
hopefully I've
amazing.
explained that.
And I guess, just to add to that as well, we are exposed to so much in this world that sometimes our direct channel that we all do have a direct channel, but sometimes it's a bit distorted because of everything else that's going on. So, social media, maybe families, maybe children, all of this kind of stuff distorts our own direct guidance. And that's why we would go to people like you for guidance who have less distortion and less distractions, so can channel those kind of messages or that guidance a little bit more clearly. And we just spoke about this. We had a little joke about this before we went live, because my children are 8 and 9, and I'm like, they are my distortions. Like, they're the ones that interfere with my communication channels. But obviously, Anne Louise, your children are a lot more grown now, aren't they? So you've got a little less distractions. Oh, sorry, you were going to say something?
No, I was going to say about the distraction piece. Like, you have the distractions. Like, I do have the same distractions. I can channel in for you, for clients, because I'm not connected to your limiting beliefs or your emotion or the distractions, the distortions. Whereas I do have my own, like every human self has all of those. It's just I'm not connected to yours. So when I'm channeling without, I have no limits on who you can be. All I see is the amazing possibility of what you are and what you're going to become. Whereas if I was I can channel for myself, but please understand that I have that human, am I enough and am I good enough like everybody else?
Oh, we all have that. We all have that when it comes to ourselves. Now, Anne Louise, I read somewhere very interestingly that obviously your journey didn't start until a bit later in life. And actually very similar to mine as well. And some people think that we're just born with this knowing, but actually some people are, and some people can have it for their whole life. But for the vast majority of us, it doesn't actually happen until a little bit later. So could you just shed some light on how you actually came about with this knowing and stepping into this path?
Of course. So I believe we're all born with that connection, but as you say, it's not obvious. Like, we have it. We're coming. The soul comes into the human self, and we're always connected to source, and we have this ability. But life happens from obviously the minute we come into this earthly experience. So I was in my early 40s, really, before I even discovered the word the universe or spirituality or source or anything. I was a London girl, work hard, play hard. I had been brought up in my parents are Methodists. They go to church every Sunday. So I was brought up, we went to church as kids every Sunday, because to me, spirituality and religion for me, it's a different entity. And I knew, therefore, there was this kind of higher power of some sort, but it was just something we did on a Sunday morning, and we had to, you had to go because your parents were going. And that kind of stuck with me, like it does if you do anything as you're growing up. And I had this feeling, sort of early 40s, I'd been married, I'd been through a divorce, I was married again, I had 2 kids, and I was listening to somebody do something like this and saying that they were very happily married, 2 kids, but there was something missing. And I was like, my ears pricked up, and I thought, yep, I can resonate with that. But I didn't know what it was. I was surface happy. I was, there were lots of great things in my life, but there was something missing in here. But I didn't know at the time that there was something missing. I just knew that there was more available to me, and I had no idea what that was. And that's often the way when we first opening up. And I watched the DVD, The Secrets. A lot of people, when they first come into spirituality, I spoke to some people who I knew through friends that were very much into their spirituality to find out more. And this led me down a path of meditation. And I was like, my kids were very young, younger than yours are now at the time. And I was so busy. I was in the busyness of doing. Like I had the badge of honor. Do you know? I would say to you, do you know how busy I am? Do you know how busy I am? And it was becoming this thing. But actually, what it was doing was being a distraction to how I was feeling, because I didn't really want to face the emotions inside. And I discovered that over investing in myself and working with a coach, that actually there was a huge disconnect from the person the outside world was seeing and how I really felt inside. And I didn't know the true me, my true self. I was very lost, and I didn't really like her. I didn't have a connection with her. And at the time, I wouldn't have really understood all this language. Just for me, I just felt there should be more. I know there's more. I had this feeling there's more. And I worked with this coach, and I realized, and she really opened up in me. There was a moment where she turned around and said, "You don't love yourself." And I remember just feeling like I'd split in two. I just felt someone was seeing me raw and real. I knew it was truth. I cried for about 3 hours. I could not stop because it was relief. Look, actually, there is something here to explore. It was, what the hell do I do now? Like, I've been this outwardly confident, I've got everything all together person, and actually I don't know how do I bring this vulnerability into that person. And it felt like a huge journey in front of me to start building that relationship with myself. But what I discovered was this sense of believing that you are enough, knowing that you are enough, feeling that sense that being your true self is all you ever need to be. One of my favorite lines that I say is that when a woman is her true self, magic happens. Because when you are true to yourself, you don't worry about what everyone else is doing. You don't try and catch up with everyone else. You don't try and be 10 steps ahead of everyone else. And you just do you. And it's the most peaceful, fulfilling feeling to have when you know that this beautiful, imperfect version of you is perfectly everything you need to be. And I was like, I need to share this. I need other women to feel like they're enough. So I started working with people, coaching people for free. Like, you start to get testimonials, was the energetic exchange, building my name up within the industry. And people would say things to me and ask questions. And I'd say, what? I'm getting this feeling that I need to say this to you. So an example recently is a lady, I said, I need to say butterflies to you. And she said, butterflies on my mum's gravestone. Like, how did you know that? And it started these things. I would say these things, and people would say, how do you know that? And I was like, I'm not sure, but I just do. Now I look back and realize I was actually very intuitive. There are a couple of stories when I was younger where I phoned home at one point on holiday, never used to. And I rang my mum and said, my dad's not right, is he? And she went, no. An ambulance came and he'd been unwell. He's fine now. But things like that, I would just have these really strong feelings, and I just followed those. And the more I did it, the more I trusted it, the stronger it became. And then the universe was like, right, this is your soul's purpose. You need to come out to the world and talk about the fact you can intuitively channel, that you know things about people, that this is how you're going to do your work. This is your raising the vibration of the planet. This is divine feminine rising. You're part of this. And I was like, I don't think so. I'm not doing this, because I had such a fear of judgment that I don't, what if Auntie Flo finds out, or the mum in the playground that's the biggest gossip, or what
are they all going
will
to
everybody
think?
think of me?
Yes.
What are they all going to think? What are they all going to say? Fear of judgment has always been huge for me. It's one of my life lessons. So I was like, no, I'll be a coach and I'll do all these things. But of course, the universe, a few clients would trickle in and then they would stop, and a few clients would trickle in, because the universe was like, this is not what you're meant to be doing. And in the end, I had to put my big girl pants on and just say, this is what I do, and forget and let go of everybody else's judgment. Because, of course, some people did say, as you said, some people won't understand what you said. And that's okay. But the people that did get it, and suddenly people started coming to me saying, can you channel for me? Can I have a session with you? Can I work with you? Because they were pulled on a soul level for this guidance. And that didn't happen really until I stepped into and is often the case for many of us. We step into that version of us that feels so out of our comfort zone and we're never going to do, because I'm never doing something like that. And then when we do it, actually, we become that person as we step into that. When you're never ready, I would never have been ready for that. But as you step into it, the confidence rises as you rise to that next level version of you. And that's also how I help my clients. Like, I believe we embody, like you said, an embodiment piece, we embody everything that we are here to truly serve.
I love
When we
that.
truly
And do you know
serve
what I
others.
think? Yeah, I think, I went through a very similar journey as well, and it's been, and you call it a journey because you continuously evolve, and there's more and more that comes through, and all of this stuff. And did you start your business as a spiritual leader?
Not really. No, I
Ah,
had a
okay.
spirituality was part of it,
Okay.
but I didn't come out and I'd say I'm a spiritual leader. It was more around, I want you to believe you're enough. Like, you are enough. It was a
Mm.
bit like when I found out about the universe, I felt like I'd come home. And everything made sense. All the confusion made sense. The reason that I'd been feeling the way I'd felt made sense. And it was like, okay, it's like I get the world. Somebody sort of took the blinkers off,
Yeah,
and suddenly it's
yeah.
like I could see.
Be
It was like that. And suddenly
clear.
I could see. So I was like, why everyone needs to believe they're enough, because they are. They've come from source. To me, it was suddenly very obvious. But of course, not everybody had the blinkers taken off. So I started
Mm.
sharing this message, and it was received by some, but a lot of people, it was so far from how they felt, so they could never even comprehend or begin to open up to the fact that they were enough, just as they are, as their true self. So there was a bit of evolution, like there often is in
Mm.
business, and I built my own confidence, and I built my reputation, I guess, in the online space and in the coaching world. There was always spirituality and there was always channeling, but it was more about, no, I want you to believe you're enough. And this is one of the tools that I have in my toolbox. But again, the universe was like, I don't think so, Anne Louise. I think you're
Yeah.
not listening. Because actually, I want you to take ownership of being that spiritual mentor and being that spiritual leader, because what I've been told this through when I've received channeling from other people, I have been teaching this for many, many lifetimes.
Wow.
So it's obvious. Like, for me, it's like ABC. It's so obvious to me because I've been doing this a long time, even though in this lifetime it felt new. So the part of me that
It
didn't
felt
want to show
late.
up,
Yeah.
the fear of judgment part, is all part of my human self. Whereas spiritually and on a soul level, I have been teaching this for a lifetime. So there was a little bit of like, why are people not realizing they're enough? It's the
Mm.
truth. But of course, I had to embody and learn the human element of that. And my story and my experience and my learning has been around believing I am enough in all that I do. And as you say, it's never finished. But please, I have, yes, I have this amazing business, and yes, I have this amazing gift, and I love it. But I still have days when I wake up and think, can I do this?
Yeah.
Should I be doing this? Who am I to do this? Because that's part of
Our human
our
experience,
human
isn't it?
experience.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And Anne Louise, to track back a little bit. So obviously we're talking about 40 years and after. What about 40 years prior? So what were you doing before you started your business? And what was the pivotal moment that made you think, I want to start a business?
So I worked in London. I worked for as a PA. I worked as an office management for corporate finance companies, chief exec. Like, I was always, I want to work for the top person.
Yeah.
Like, I really want to be up there, and I did love it. It didn't fulfill me on a soul level like the work does, but it was the buzz of working in London, the buzz of working for these
Mm.
people, really getting the energy of somebody who's in that charismatic, running the business, having a vision. And I look back now and realize, actually, I was coaching them,
Wow, yeah.
because often the conversations we were having, because we had that relationship, they would share some of their wobbles and worries and insecurities. And I could see through the bravado, the I'm the CEO, and actually give them the safe space to express themselves in a way that they knew that was it was safe, and it was in confidence, and all of those kind of things. So I spent a lot of time working in London and living, really, it was work hard, play hard. Like, I'd work long hours. And if you'd said to me back then, this is what you'll be doing, I would have nodded politely and said, crazy lady, and moved on, because there was no way. And I don't know, a pivotal moment, I think the pivotal piece was the work I did on myself around being enough. And I was like, I need to get this out in the world. I didn't really think at the time of growing a business. I never came to this space. I was very naive when I came into the online space, very naive. I didn't come to this with, I'm going to grow a business and I'm going to be an entrepreneur and I'm going to be successful. I just came going, I need to be of service. I need to share this message, because this is going to be game changing. Because when you believe, have that being your true self, and you know you're enough as your true self, changes everything. It changes your relationship, your business, how you feel about yourself, how you feel about others, how other people receive you and treat you. So I knew this was a key part to everything, but I didn't come into the space thinking I'm going to create this business. In fact, I have had to do quite a lot of work around that belief that I can be an entrepreneur. I've actually, like, that feeling like who I'm not an entrepreneur. My mum was a nurse. My father was an accountant. They all worked, stay in one company and work their way. He worked his way up to sort of senior partner, and he, like, that was the blueprint that I came to, is you go and get a job and you work hard at it, and then you work your way up. Nobody that I knew was this entrepreneur kind of online, in the obviously the online space is relatively new, but just starting out something from scratch. And I had to do quite a lot of work and mindset work around, actually, you are an entrepreneur, you are a business owner, your value and your drive is to come from a place of service and not to create a business. If you're coming from that space, first off, if you like, that wasn't my drive for it.
Wow. Yeah. What a difference. Hey. And how was it taken? How did everybody around you take that? Going from this corporate world to this then unknown, I need to just help people
I think
world.
a lot of people thought I was crazy. I thought I was crazy at times, actually. And to be honest, in all transparency, I did it very quietly. Because remember, I don't want to tell the world that I can channel, and I'm just going to have this little corner
Just
of the
gonna play it
online
safe.
space.
Play it
Play it
safe.
safe,
Yeah.
nice and safe. I'm not going to get out of my comfort zone too much. I'm going to tell myself I am, but I'm just going to keep it really safe. I'm going to have this little corner of the internet, and I'm going to have my lovely, safe Facebook group where I know people like me and they're not going to be judgmental. And I sort of crept out. If you imagine, like I remember a coach saying to me, it's like the door is slightly ajar. You're wanting these clients to come in, but the door's only open this really small amount. He said, you want to be flying open the double, the French doors and inviting people in to work with you and be with you. But I was like, all of this was going on beyond my human consciousness. Consciously, I was doing all of the things. I was showing up online, but energetically, I was creeping in and just, I don't want to be seen too much, and I don't want to be really out there. And it has taken quite a lot of work on myself to open those French doors. And I did that by, it's not about me. None of this is about me. It's about the fact that the universe has chosen me for whatever reason to have this intuitive gift, to be able to, when your clients are talking to me, when you're talking to me, I get intuitive hits, and I know where we need to explore for you to move the needle in your life and business to where you want it to get to. And it's so quick when we have those conversations. Somebody wrote a testimonial, this, I think it was last week, and she said, we've just been chatting for an hour. What have you done? And it's just working on different energetic levels. And that's what it's about for me. It's because it's about my clients. It's about the soul's purpose. It's about the message that I'm here to share at this time when the world is changing hugely. And the divine feminine women, like the Dalai Lama says, the Western woman is going to change the world. We are the ripple effect. We are changing the world in such a big way. so I had to stop making it about my ego, which we all have, about my limiting beliefs, about my fear of judgment. And it's like, you have a choice, Anne Louise. You have been given this gift. You can either you can not share it. You always have choice. And it's like, actually, I have to. I cannot have this ability to be able to help and serve people in this way and not share it in some way. And I believe, whether I might not have a business forevermore, but I feel I will always be channeling and sharing in some way, really, until I part from this human experience and go into whatever the next human, maybe human, it may be staying in spirit,
Whatever experience
whatever
it is,
it's meant to be. Yeah.
And what do the kids think of it?
That's really interesting.
They're a bit older.
Yeah, that's a really interesting question, because I was brought up with talking about Methodists and forgiveness of sins and God, and it's not really about religion, but my children, they've heard the word universe and gratitude and law of attraction, and you can do anything in your life. You can bring in whatever you want, and most kids are very, very connected and very spiritual when they come into life, because nobody's told them otherwise. So imaginary friends, and having, like, my son was 18 months when my father-in-law passed, and he would say, at sort of 2 years old, he would say, we need to go and see, he was called Grandpa Squibby, we need to go and see him, and it was snowing last time we saw him. Now, he was 18 months when it was snowing, when he said there's no way he would have that human memory. But they would often be speaking to each other. My daughter, I know on a soul level, we have been together. This is not our first, not even our second. Like, we've had many lifetimes together. And I've had somebody who's told me, who does this kind of work, that we are like a twin soul, her and I. So we have a very special, on a soul level, very special connection. And I think she was 12, she was talking to someone, and this lady said, how do you know that you and mummy have been together on a soul level? And she said, I just do. We just have that connection. And don't get me wrong, we've gone through all the human experience of having tantrums, same age as your children, teenagers. Like, that still happens.
I hate you, Mum.
All of the above that you have when you have children. When what do you mean I can't have what I want the minute I want it? We have all of that. However, we do have this beautiful soul connection.
Oh, I love that.
She wrote, it was a big birthday in lockdown. So my husband, those books with photographs and people write messages, they have it printed. And she wrote, and if I get a bit emotional, because usually when I'm talking about it, it makes me, kind of reminds me, she was 16 when she wrote this. And she said, like, I love you and thank you for being my mum. And also I believe, and she believes the same, that our soul chooses the people that we come, the parents that we come into for our experience in this lifetime. She said, I hope, I see you getting out of your comfort zone every day. And one day, I'm sorry that I'm going to leave you to live with the boys, with my husband and my son, but you can only blame yourself, because you have given me the confidence and the courage, to go and live my life, you've inspired me to go and do, I know I can do whatever I want to do.
Oh, you're going to make me cry.
I know, every time. And I didn't know that at the time. I didn't know that what I was doing was inspiring her. And I often say to parents, like, especially at your kind of age, when it feels like there is sometimes this pull between the business isn't getting enough attention and the kids aren't, not being fully present with them, because you are trying to juggle. Like, I had laptop conversations with them all the time. Yeah, I'll be there in a minute. Mummy will be there in a minute. Yes, I'm talking, I'm cooking, I'm laptoping, all of the things. But never underestimate what the kids don't do. What we say, they do what we do. So never underestimate you showing up in your business every day, you doing the things. They're always watching. And I know that just by being in the business, even on the days when I didn't feel I was doing enough and I didn't feel I was having an impact and I wasn't making the sales that I wanted to make, I know I was inspiring her, and I know it inspires my son as well. She's now, she went to Ghana traveling to do volunteer work in orphanage and in a school. She's been traveling all summer. She she has she's at university, but she's got a business that she's growing. So that's all come from watching what I do. And also they had angel cards when they were little. My daughter used to have night terrors, and I used to give her an angel card. She used to pick a card and it used to calm her down. So spirit and angels and law of attraction and spirituality and being true to yourself has been part of their conversation and their vocab and their blueprint from when they were really little. And I believe because the world is rising, the vibration of the world is rising, that we are being chosen by these kids who are here to help raise that energy and vibration so that we can hold that space for them on a human level of, I hate you, mum, and I don't want to make my bed, and you don't understand me because you've never been 14, all those kind of things. But actually we can spiritually guide them so that they can go out and be part of the ripple effect as well.
And can you imagine that? Like, these children aren't growing up with the limiting beliefs and all the things that we grew up with, and that is going to actually change the trajectory of the world. Like, it's
100%.
literally going to change the world.
It is.
And I think one of the things with you showing up as your true authentic self, you can see directly the effect it's had on your family. But also, if you multiply that by all the people that you're serving and you're supporting to do exactly the same thing, that ripple effect is immense, isn't it?
It is huge. And that's another reason on those days when, they say, don't know your why, don't they? On the days when you think, I can't do this today. And we all have them. Is I know that I have channeled, I've been doing this 10 years. So I've channeled for hundreds, probably over thousands of women. But it's knowing that if you just say, I impact 6 people, like their lives have changed because of a channel or a conversation, or whether they've worked with me for 1 session or for 6 months, they then impact, each of those 6 people impacts another 6 people. And and so it goes on. And as you say, the ripple effect, that's how the world is changing. It's not about needing to be in front of thousands and thousands of people and standing on a stage. Yes, some people's purpose is that. But a lot of us are just being authentic to ourselves and being true to ourselves and impacting the people that we are here to impact. And because there'll be people that hear you and what you do and go, I'm just going to scroll on by because she's not speaking to me. And same for me. And then there'll be people that you'll hit so much, so to the depths and go, I just get what she's saying. I want to be part of her energy. I want to be part of her vibration. I want to be in her world. I have people message me, like on social, like Facebook messages or Instagram, saying, I don't know why I'm messaging you, but I just feel that I have to.
I feel the call.
Exactly
that's
that.
It, right? That's it. And I think one of the reasons why I even asked you to explain in a bit of layman's terms, because there might be a bit of curiosity as well. There might be something that's piqued someone's interest. And it's also for those that are curious to reach out and find out more, because one conversation can absolutely change someone's life and be exactly what they're looking for. And you just never know. So I always say as well, even if you're just a teeny bit curious, just always find out more, send that message and literally reach out. So Anne Louise, obviously business is going well. What is next? What is for you next? What is going on next? So you currently serve clients, and I hear you've been doing lots of retreats as well. What do these retreats look like then?
So they are a very intimate spiritual space where we go to a really beautiful hotel which has the most amazing energy, and I take 5 or 6 women because I like it to be really small, a very safe space, and we connect in on that soul level. So there's something very special when you bring connected people together like that, and the energy in the room rises to the highest vibration, which is the vibration of the collective. And you then start doing this energy work at that high vibration. So when we all come together, and it literally happens, we meet for coffee, and you can tell the energy is already connected before we even start. And it's really for those people, one, that want to just have some time away from their business, from their desk, and know on a spiritual level that they are ready to open up even more, that they're ready to explore that soul purpose. They're ready to explore that feeling that there is something else, there is something more. Most of my clients say, I know I'm here for more, but I either don't know what that looks like, or I feel like I'm getting this calling, I don't know what it is. And that the retreats are very a good place to come, I guess, when you're first opening up, not to spirituality, but opening up to that calling. Because I always say the universe has a plan for you, and it's grander than you can ever imagine, because the universe's plan for you doesn't have your limits, doesn't have those limiting beliefs. So I've done 11 of those retreats now. So yeah, I absolutely love them. It's often when I'm in that room and I think, this is why I do what I do, because I can feel what's coming out of my mouth it's not me speaking. I'm literally channeling live, if you like, in that room. So they're very special, they're very spiritual, very intimate, a beautiful way to really ground yourself and find yourself and go back into your everyday, but from that shift, that energetically shifted spiritual space. Because often we get so caught up in the strategy and the doing, and I do too. Now I'm doing those things as well, the ticking the list and making sure we're getting all the things done. But actually, when we connect with our true self, when we connect with that inner wisdom, when we connect on that soul level, you'll go back with a completely different perspective, and you'll start fulfilling your true purpose and things that may be what you're meant to do. So you end up releasing and letting go of those things that are holding you back. And you also, it simplifies, like simplicity is beautiful in business, because you can then just, this is what I'm here for, this is what I'm meant to be doing, and this is what I want to share. And you're all that knowledge and strategy, that, because my clients have been in the business a long time, they have the strategy, they know what they're meant to be doing, and they know how to make it successful, but they haven't been feeling that it's come from that deep place within. And the retreat helps you to either connect in with that for the first time, or connect back in with it, because it's easy to lose it, because we have we have experiences, and we have that get all it caught up in the what we should be doing, and sometimes we just need to take that break for a couple of days and go, okay, let me reset here.
And especially the way the world is not conducive to women taking a break. And if you don't take a break, you will literally relive Groundhog Day on the daily. And it's up to us to take that time out in a way that really aligns with us and gives us the space to really explore whatever it is that we need to explore. So, Anne Louise, I've got 2 more questions for you. I know we're getting to the end of our conversation, but I've got 2 really important questions I want to ask you. One of them is, now, what has been the most challenging part of your journey so far? And can you share how you've overcome some of your challenges?
I think for me, it's been those beliefs, the belief who am I to be an entrepreneur? I'm not an entrepreneur. The belief that I can't make this business the success that I know it can be. Those limiting beliefs that play like a record in the background. It's like when you're in a restaurant, there's music playing, but you're not really listening to it. If someone said what was playing, you wouldn't know, but it's just constantly there. And I've really done the work around that inner voice, that inner critic, because how we speak to ourselves changes everything. It's a bit like if you're teaching a kid to ride a bike. If they're going to fall off, you've taken the stabilizers off, they're going to learn to ride a bike, and they're going to feel wobbling all over the place. And if you tell them that they're rubbish and that who are they to ride a bike, and how I can't believe they can't balance on it, you're so stupid, they're going to drop that bike on the floor and run in tears and not come out again. But we don't. We say, you've got this, I've got you, I'm holding the saddle, you just keep moving your leg, keep going, get that momentum going, keep going, you've got this. And then the next thing, look, I'm doing it, and off they go. And that voice that we say to ourselves, and I had a critical voice for so long, so I had to flip that and say, okay, you don't need to be an entrepreneur. Your drive is to be of service, and you are incredible about what you do. Your gift is incredible. So go with that, lead with that, just come from that place of, this is your soul's purpose, and this is what you're here to do. And that I still have to do that today. Like it brings me back to, you are enough in what you're here to do. I'm not enough in everything. Nobody can be excelling in every single thing, and neither should we try to. It's exhausting. But I'm really good at what I do, and I'm really good at my purpose. So I keep bringing it back, bringing it up. Oh, when I get a bit scattered, it's like bringing it back to this is what I'm here to do. This is what I'm here to serve. But the hardest thing has been that self-belief piece, not in the channeling, not in the intuitive gift, but in the online space and bringing it in, birthing it into the world. That was the hardest thing for me.
Yeah. And if we go on that self-belief kind of bit, and it's tracking back, looping back to something you mentioned earlier, that when you first started doing this as a business, you done a lot of things for free. How did that shift happen then to start charging people? And what would you advise people that might currently feel that actually their gifts should be given away for free?
Yeah, and it's a tough one, because when you come from this place of service, you do it for nothing. So I think it's really important to remember that there has to be an energetic exchange for
Yes.
something to work. And if people are going to change their life, if you give it away for free, they're not going to be committed. You know, it's when we invest in ourselves, when we commit to something. The best investments that I've made have scared me, not only financially, but scared me in the fact that I'm showing up on a different level. And they're the ones that have been the biggest transformation, because I'm fully in. And if you do it for free, people are not fully in. And it's I feel, part of our being of service is to make sure that that person is committed on a level where their life is going to change, and change not just in the moment of working with you, but changing forever. And part of that is making a commitment. They need to make a commitment to themselves. So in answer to the first part of your question, so I started, really, it was a confidence piece. I started doing it for free, and people were like, how do you know this? And I started seeing the difference, and I was like, okay. So I started building that confidence, and the investment was ever so low to work with me. And I built that up and built that up until I felt energetically that I was in alignment with the value that I was giving, and the transformation that was happening with clients was in alignment. Because what can happen is, if you're too low, it's too low and too high, actually. If you're not in alignment with what you perceive the value to be, is that you won't sell, because people will feel that it isn't energetically right, even if they don't know that's the reason, but it won't feel in alignment. So if it's too low, people won't think the value. So if you buy something where you think, I know I'm going to get good value, I don't mind spending money on a particular brand of car or a particular handbag, or something that, if I'm going to invest in this piece because I know that it's going to give me value back. Whereas if you're too low, then it doesn't align with how brilliant you are. And again, also in this online space, unfortunately, there are people charging way beyond the alignment value that they're at. So for me, it was a gradual. What helped me was to build the confidence, and then align my prices with that value and with my energetic self-worth, and to do it slowly. But there should always be an energetic exchange. I say in the beginning, it was a testimonial, because people didn't know me. I wanted some evidence that I was really good at what I did, but for people to be truly committed to change and transformation, then that investment piece is part of that. The minute clients say yes to me, when they haven't made the investment, they message me often and say, I can't believe this has just happened. I only said yes to you yesterday, and the money's dropped in, or a client's dropped in, or and then when they've made the investment, the shifts even more.
That shift.
Of course, because the universe when you make that leap, and it is often a leap of faith into something. You don't know what's going to happen. There is no certainty and guarantee, and the universe is like, okay, you've stepped up, we're going to meet you. And it might not be, this is the other thing, it might not be an instant, like I committed and then this happened. Sometimes it is. Other times it's you literally take that leap, and it feels like things get worse before they get better. It feels like you're rolling down, and you're actually going to the bottom rather than you want to soar. But that's all part of have that faith and have that trust when it's spiraling down. And that's not easy. It's very easy to have faith and trust when things are going brilliantly.
Really well, yeah. But when they're not.
Have that faith and trust when you're spiraling down. And then it's like a universe is like, okay, and then you will soar, you will fly. But it is sometimes taking that faith. Like I said before, you won't feel ready.
Mm.
It's often like I'm gonna be ready as I as
Yeah.
I join.
And I always say that it's all about giving and receiving. So there has to be this free flow, like it literally has to flow freely, give and receive. And on another side as well, we do have, even though we are service providers and we've got skills and special gifts that we can share, we also live in a human world where our needs also need to be met. And we do choose to do this as a profession rather than go and get a job. So we still need mortgages and bills, all of these kind of things need paying. So there are needs that need to be met as well. And having needs met allow us to truly step more and more into our authenticity that actually helps even more people. So 100% it's really important. So if anybody is watching and they're still not at the point where they're ready to charge for their services or, you know, come against any blocks, hope this has actually helped you guys as well. Now, my last question to you is, there may be a lot of people out there that have gifts, have something special that they can offer the world. There might be people that are curious and just don't know what to do with whatever it is that they have. What is some advice that you can give them based on your own experiences?
I think it's to know that if you feel you have a gift, you do. And it's really actually stopping for a moment rather than going, and I did this, you kind of go all in going, what do I do? And I'm getting my business and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. Is actually to pause and
Mm.
stop and say, okay, so I have this feeling, I have this gift, or I know I have this gift, and think about the impact you want to have on the world. Think about the difference that you want to make. Think about why you want to do this and really explore that, not just that surface level, but I do a lot of journaling, or however whether you go for a walk or you find that space to clear your head. It's like, what does this mean to me? What does it mean to serve? What does it mean to use these gifts and the difference that I'm going to make in the world? And that doesn't have to be some dramatic, amazing moment. It might be simply because you want to find balance in your life. When I first started my business, I wanted to be able to take the kids to school and pick them up.
Yes.
That was
That
huge
was
to me.
it, wasn't it? That was our
That was
goal. That
it.
was our
That
biggest
was the
goal.
goal. That's what I want to do. And I had to really teach myself to say, like when people say, are you successful in business? They mean
Make
financially.
money. Yeah.
Exactly. And actually, I felt like I am. I'm not making a huge amount of money at the moment because I'm kind of in the new stages. But I get to take my kids to school and I get to pick them up and I get to go to the school fete and things that I'd missed out on because I remember missing my daughter's first Christmas play and I remember being absolutely heartbroken because I couldn't be there. It was so important to me. And I was like, right, this is not how I want to live my life. So I was living a successful life because that was what I wanted. So think about, yes, who are you serving and why are you serving, but also serving yourself, not just the impact that you want to have on others and the gift that you want to share, but how's it going to impact you? What's it going to give you and those close to you? But really put yourself first. And that might be something new for you, because I remember coach saying to me, put yourself first. And I was like, I can't do that. I've got
No,
kids, I've
I've
got
got
husband, I've
kids,
got
I've
a
got
house, I've got blah,
husband.
blah, blah,
Yeah.
and listed up all these things that I have to put before. And she said, trust me, if you put yourself first, they will get more. And you know,
They
it's
will
so
benefit.
true.
Yeah.
So true. My relationship, it was good with my kids and my husband. It got even better because I was filled up. Like
You were happy.
I was happy. I
Yeah.
was doing things for me and I didn't drop everything the minute they said mum every time. And obviously if they were in danger then I would, but it's that sense of, kids were mum and they want it now. And I was like, actually, just give me a minute, or just holding those boundaries of, I'm going to do this for me and then I will be there for you. And they
And
learnt that
your mask
respect.
on first before someone
Of
else's,
course,
right?
it's cliche, but it's true.
Yeah.
And it's really think about your why, think about the impact you have, think about the difference that you want to make, and think about also what it's going to bring to you. Rather, because the first thing we often do is doing the website and the socials, and all of those things are important because that's your shop window. But actually, if you get those foundation pieces in place first, your business will fly much quicker than if you try and work out what those are further down the
Yeah,
line.
100%. And also I found feeding your curiosity. If you're
Love that.
curious about something, go and find out more.
Yes.
And especially if you're listening to this conversation and you've been curious about anything, am I right in saying, Anne Louise, that people can just reach out to you
Of
and
course.
feed their curiosity? And
Of
on that
course.
note, how do you want people to reach out to you? What is the best way? So if anyone has been curious about any of this conversation and wants to know more, what's the best way to reach out to you?
So Instagram is a good way. So as it says on the screen, at I am Anne Louise Harbutt. You can find me on Facebook. You can find me on LinkedIn. All as Anne Louise Harbutt. I'm very easy to find. So just send me a message, or my email is there as well. Just send me a message, get in touch, say that you've listened to this, or say that you're curious about spirituality, and we can have a conversation, because really it's you'll feel pulled, like we were saying before. You will either listen to this and think that's really interesting and not feel a pull at all, or you'll be like, yes, I need to get in touch and follow that. Yes, exactly as you said, follow that curiosity. There's a reason. But you're not just, if you're listening to this, but anything, if you're curious about something, if you're excited about something, there is a reason that
Yeah.
your inner wisdom is going, do this. And your head
Mm.
might come in and say it's not the right time, or what are they going to say, or will my message be, will she be scary to talk to, or any of those things. You can have all those things come in, but that feeling that you're meant to do something or be at an event, follow that, because it is like little breadcrumbs of saying, do this
It is
and
the
do
universe
that,
nudging you, isn't it, to go in
nudging
that
you
direction?
all the way. It's always nudging you. It's just sometimes we get in, or sometimes a lot of the time we get into our heads and we're doing the things we should do, and we're following that logical step, and the universe is over here going, hello, this is where you need to be, this is the next step. And if you just stop and pause for a moment, like if you just spend 10 minutes a day just sitting with your eyes closed and taking some deep breaths just to pause, you'll be amazed at what comes in all around here and drops in, and you're like, I'm just going to have that conversation. Yeah, I'm meant to have that conversation. That person I've been seeing, I'm going to message them. Or that event, I went to a retreat must be 3 or 4 years ago now, I think. I literally heard someone talking about it. The lady that was running it didn't even look at the sales page. I was like, I know, I can feel I'm meant to
You
be
need to do
there. And I
that.
met some
Yeah.
incredible people who I'm still connected with now, some of my best business besties. I met a client and I had the most amazing experience because I followed that I'm meant to be there. And sometimes you just have to say
You
yes
just
to that.
know. And I'm certified in quantum coaching, quantum flow, and Reiki. And my 3 coaches, I'd never had a conversation with them before. I just knew they were the ones that I had to work with, and they were absolutely incredible. And I always believe that you never come across somebody by accident or by chance. There's always a purpose. So even if you're listening to this conversation, there's probably a reason behind you listening to this conversation out of all the other conversations that are out there in the universe. So really, really feed that curiosity.
Definitely.
So
There's no coincidences at
no,
all. If
not
you're
at all.
listening to this, there is a reason for it.
100%. Oh, amazing. Do you know what, Anne Louise? I could talk to you forever, but I know I'd probably bore everybody out there as well. So I will leave stuff to people's curious minds to reach out even more. But I cannot thank you enough for this incredibly open conversation. It's been absolutely amazing. It's been so lovely to hear about your journey. And it's just been honestly really, really refreshing. And the honesty has been so amazing that I just hope it helps a lot of people out there as well that are listening. So thank you so, so much.
Well, thank you. It's been a real pleasure. I've absolutely loved it.
Oh, I cannot wait. I literally cannot wait to have it out in the open and let other people hear it as well. So thank you, Anne Louise. And thank you to everybody that's taken the time out to listen to this conversation. It's been absolutely amazing. And I hope you enjoy listening to it as much as we've enjoyed recording it. Thank you.